Hey, and I'm on a different screen. Good evening, my friends, fans, and all you amazing toy lovers. Man, I tell you what, if only this damn bloody prompter damn thing will bloody work. Anyway, it's Friday Roundtable, episode 12, and we have an awesome show tonight, including some very special guests, both on and off camera. We got Katie in the studio, we got Chris in the studio as well, Mr. Christian Brassington, as well as our usual suspect, Dave. We took a little break last week, but we're back with a Transformer theme show. Somewhat timely, I think, given the announcement for the premiere of the Transformers Rise of the Beast. So kick back, make sure you grab yourself a beverage, and we will be right back after this. Okay, before we start and bring the guys on, let me explain why we decided to do this episode tonight. For those of you that know me well, you'll know that my taste in toys is quite eclectic. I was born in the early 70s and grew up with famous, iconic, and quintessential toy lines and properties in the 80s. And I've mentioned this several times in the past on certain live streams. Like much of our audience, I think most of you guys can relate. I think Simon can also relate to liking everything and anything. Now, my poison primarily centered around science fiction with Star Wars, Star Trek, Buck Rogers, Battlestar Galactica, Captain Power for some of the live TV, film, drama stuff, while Silverhawks, Battle of the Planets, He-Man, Thundercats, and Mask were definitely in a high rotation in the cartoon department. Now, admittedly, Transformers didn't really take much priority or precedence during my childhood consumption for entertainment, and I really had no care for the toy line back then. However, fast forward several decades, and boy, how have things changed. I think, you see, for me, the concept of robots assuming alternate forms in disguise didn't really quite appeal to me at the time. I mean, quite simply, it was a real marketing tool meant for children. But when you dig a little deeper and sort of look into the story arc and the lore that has been sort of developed through its fandom over the years, you start seeing things in a very, very different light. So you're probably thinking, what is the appeal, what is the appeal of the Transformers? Well, if you enjoy science fiction, you'll probably start to appreciate that the Transformers are essentially an alien race of sentient beings that were very entrenched in a very horrendous civil war at that time, who also happened to harness very advanced technology, which kind of allows them to change their molecular density and structure and ultimately execute a thing called mass shifting. Well, there's definitely more to it, but that's sort of what it is in a nutshell, and I'll let the guys explain later on as well. Now, the other thing that really sold me on the Transformers universe is what essentially Optimus Prime represents. Firstly, his color, his stature, his form makes him probably one of the most ubiquitous characters in pop culture, particularly for my generation and some of the guys here as well. His stoic persona, his strength, along with his responsibility as a leader and a gatekeeper for the matrix of leadership, are all very symbolic and relevant to all our aspirations to become stronger and wiser through any sort of adversity that we go through. Anyway, enough of me having a rant. Let's get on with the show, gentlemen. As they say, one shall stand, one shall fall. Good evening, gents. How are you going? How's everyone? Welcome to the show.
Excellent.
Yeah, we'll take you guys off mute. And we have a special guest tonight. We have Mr. Kelvin Chan. First time on the show with us.
Yes, thank you for having me here.
Thanks for coming. And then, the usual boys here, Simon.
I had
Mikey.
nothing better to do, so
Yeah.
he found me down the back of the sofa.
Hey, man, it's good. Cool. So we have all the different guys in the group, but occasionally once in a while we like to have our special guest, and Kelvin decided to grace us with his presence tonight. Now we're going to quickly get you to tell us a bit about your journey through the Transformers fandom. You started in 1984, correct?
Yes.
Tell us a bit about.
So,
And you bought 2 figures. You went to, where did you go?
I was some independent. So it was late '84,
Yes.
probably around November, December, and walked into. So mum took my brother and I into a good little toy store, and no one knew what Transformers was at the time.
Yeah.
And saw these new toys called the Transformers. I thought that was cool. So I got basically just we were left with 2 small little toys, and I chose Brawn.
Mm.
And so Brawn was my first Transformer.
Can I ask?
No, you can. Yes.
Who do you remember who your choice was between? Like, do you remember which figures you could have chosen between?
There was the mini bots. So I mean, they're the bigger ones, but Mum wasn't going to let us get the bigger ones.
Yeah, they had to choose a smaller class.
Yeah, so you got Brawn, Bumblebee, Cliff Jumper, and again, remember at this time, the cartoon wasn't out yet. We didn't know who these guys were. It was just whatever's on the bio. So I just it said Brawn. He's strong. I mean, I'm a kid. I'm like, yeah, strong robot. I like, and he's a Jeep, and Jeeps go off road, so tough dude. So yeah, I like him. So
Nice.
Very cool.
the logic went as far as that.
Yeah.
Because this is a whole new thing. We didn't know hardly anything about this stuff. Then '85 was really when it took off here, because that's when the toys hit all the major stores. Because in the beginning it was like the small independents had it at first, but then later you had Kmart, Grace Brothers, Big W. They all started getting it. But yeah, then the cartoon came out and all that, and that's when we became more familiar with the characters.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Just quick comments. Good evening, Rob Franklin, as always. Thank you for joining us. And also, Mark Jones, got my drink ready for a great show. You bet. We've got our drinks here as well. Look. Cheers, boys. Always
Cheers.
very nice to have you here. Cheers. Anyway.
Yeah.
Actually,
Thanks,
courtesy of Mikey Siciliano, he's got us these. What do you call these things?
Steins?
Mugs, like Steins with
Steins?
our toy
Toro logo. Yeah.
It's very good.
Very
It's
cool.
good. Okay, cool. And so, Kelvin, so you 84. Then how many figures would you say you have in your collection now? What, kidding 3,000?
I'm close to 2,800.
2,800.
I know in '85 I
Yeah.
had 50, because that's when I started counting, and I put a little spreadsheet on our computers, Commodore 64.
Yeah.
Commodore 64.
And I started counting it. So so the first time I counted. So I do remember my first count was 52 figures in '85.
Hilarious. That's
Wow.
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what better? I mean, we have very esteemed gentlemen here tonight. They're all hardcore Transformers fans. So I think this is a great panel. But there's a reason also why I decided that I want to talk about Bumblebee tonight. I think it's once again, it's subjective. I really like the bot design. I like the story arc. I like the story itself. There are a lot of things to really enjoy about Bumblebee. Now the question is, Simon, have you watched that?
Is that a G1 cartoon? Then no.
Okay. Simon, as you can tell, is very G1 cartoon focused. But
I have my niche and I'll stay in it.
he does have his niche. But Bumblebee, okay. I mean, as you can see, we have a plethora of different toy lines here. Actually, when I say plethora, probably more characters. We actually 2 specific toy lines. Third-party license, officially licensed, and then we have mainline Transformers, which are the movie ones. I didn't realize there were actually that many bots in the release from
Still
the
more.
Bumblebee.
Apparently, there's more.
There's still
a couple more that we don't have here. So yeah.
So you can see it's a combination. I think between Kelvin and I think we brought half and half. Very envious that he's got certain bots that I don't have. And then you have these. They're just amazing, immaculate, crazy. Source material stuff that they've made almost like statues. They're incredibly heavy,
Non-transformable.
they're non-transformable, but incredible. Like not cheap either, but like
Definitely collector orientated.
Definitely.
These are just like
Yeah.
Although they're also orientated to collectors, they
fulfill different niches.
everyone. This is basically for everyone. That's targeted for someone who can afford to spend or
Yeah.
100 plus on each of these.
But also,
figures.
they like the look of the robot, and they don't care if it doesn't.
Yeah, they're
transform.
obviously if you're
Yeah,
a trans,
yeah.
if
It's
you're a
interesting
transform,
what you can get away with when you don't have to compromise to fit
Exactly.
a transformation in.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't
it's going to
have
look exactly identical to the on-screen model, which those do, as
Correct.
opposed to these, which have to have liberties taken because they do
They
actually
have to
transform.
transform, and
They're close enough.
and also and they have to comply with child safety laws.
Yeah, of course.
and-
You have to be able to drop them and not break most
Yeah,
of them.
correct,
So,
yeah.
whereas
Yeah.
those, you're not going to. Unfortunately, if you drop them, you're probably going to break them. That's why they're adult collectibles. So yeah.
Yeah, no, they're pretty cool. I think in terms of what the offerings are for both, like I said, the adult collector as well as mainline as well. So I got a quick question also, for Simon. You want to tell the audience that we got something in store coming up?
Well, pretty big deal. If you keep your close eye on the channel in the next coming weeks, we will be giving away 1 ticket to the premiere of Rise of the Beast on 9th of July, 18th of July.
8th of June.
Well, I messed that one up, didn't I?
It was close.
Can we cut?
One of
start
those
You
again?
got the right
One of
movie
those
though.
days.
So he doesn't know the movies, but he got the right movie, so that was good. At least he didn't say Fast 10 because we're not giving away one for Fast 10.
Rise of the Beast. Rise of the
Well,
Beast.
I'd be in that contest.
He's got the Decepticon purple colors tonight.
Yeah.
He's flying that.
Love my Decepticons.
Kel's wearing his Bumblebee t-shirt.
Bumblebee.
Soundwave.
Soundwave from both of these lovely shirts were from the awesome More Than Meets the Eye art exhibition that we all
The one at
attended?
King's Comics.
Yes,
you
yeah.
came to
I
it.
went. I didn't go with you guys, but I
No.
popped in on lunch
Yes,
while I was in the
so
city.
we all attended. It was an
Fantastic.
amazing event, and it was just so cool that I think we're the only place in the world that has had something like that. So it's very impressive. And Radio Velvet put it
Velvet.
together with King's Comics and
Yep.
Hasbro, and honestly, the night that they had us there was an unforgettable night, and it was amazing. And you had your amazing, parts of your
Yes,
collection
yes, I
there, as
had
well
an
as
exhibit.
very importantly, you had the drawings of
Andrew Sorhan,
Aaron
the late
Sor-
Andrew
the
Sorhan,
late Andrew
yes.
Sorhan, who passed away this year. And
Yeah.
Kelvin was, to his credit, nice enough to attribute most of his shelf to the drawings and a little bit about Andrew. And I thought that was really good of you,
Yep.
considering
And that was with the blessing from his family.
and it was awesome. And it was amazing to see that because he
Yeah.
works with Hasbro. He worked with Hasbro in the past, and really nice guy. And it's a shame that he's gone, but at least he was we were able to remember him in that way at such a cool event.
Yep.
And you did a really good job with that. So I'm very
Cool. What do you think of the offerings that we have now with Transformers in terms of both licensed third party as well as mainline stuff?
Well, I mean, I love my third party stuff, but I am actually quite impressed with how good these the retail line look there. They've obviously put a lot of work in them. These definitely aren't the juniors sort of one step Transformer. They're pretty decent.
Yeah, I mean, you are a hardcore collector as far as Transformers is concerned. I know that you have your preference for certain things, but you collect the Takara Tomy stuff, which is officially licensed.
I go out of my way to pick up Takara Tomy.
Yeah.
If it fits the bill.
Yes.
I also collect avidly G1 stuff.
Yeah.
As long as it's mint in sealed box.
Yeah. Totally. Okay.
I support the brand.
Of course you do. And everyone at Toyota, we love. Like I said, we're very eclectic in our taste. We love everything.
Cast the net wide.
That's right. We certainly do. Kelvin, tell me, what are your thoughts? What do you think? I mean, for me, I like the bot design in terms when I first saw that opening sequence, and it was like you said, the closest representation to what a live action film would be for Transformers. I absolutely fell in love with the design. What are your thoughts in terms of the design? Do you think it's a balance and a mesh between G1 characters as well as the modern interpretation of Transformers?
I think it's a really good blend between the movie aesthetic and Generation 1 aesthetic. And I think one key thing about that opening Cybertron battle scene, where you look at all the bots, you know exactly who is who. Right, straight away. Like some of these bots will only appear for a few seconds, but you know exactly who is who. Now, there's a criticism that can be made that it doesn't match continuity with the Michael Bay movies. And look, I think that's a fair comment. But on the plus side, there's they're far more memorable. You know exactly who appeared in the movie.
Yeah.
Whereas there's an argument that in some of the other movies that some of the characters were more forgettable. But I think Travis Knight did really well in making sure that they were all identifiable.
I think that's also worth discussing later or whenever. But if it is, there's that whole debate where if Bumblebee is Michael Bay universe or if it's its own thing. And like at the end of the day, when it comes to movies, I don't really care, to be honest. I just want them to be good movies. And Bumblebee I rewatched today, just coincidentally, because I had my friend over, Josh. So if you're watching, Josh, hey. But he watched it for the first time, and he's just like he was kind of sick of all the Michael Bay movies, especially when it came to the 4th and 5th. And then he kind of gave up. And then I gave him a chance of watching Bumblebee, and he loved it. He really, really enjoyed it. And it's not only is it my favorite Transformers movie, but it is genuinely one of my favorite movies of all time.
What do you like? What do you like about it? What do you think?
I think it's actually got a lot of heart, especially for a Transformers movie. It's got a ton of heart. And yeah.
Have you forgotten about the 86 movie?
Yeah,
that's full of heart.
It is
full of heart.
True. But like I just think it's got a lot of heart. The character, again, as Kelvin said, you can tell who the different Transformers are.
Yeah.
Because they've got vibrant colors. Dropkick's the blue one, this one, and Shatter's the red one, and Bumblebee's obviously the yellow one, and Blitzwing's the white one. You can tell who's who.
Yeah.
And especially in that opening scene, which is so beloved by everyone that we kind of want just a full movie of that, which we might be getting in the future, hopefully. That was amazing. Like just seeing that and seeing what a potential like really great movie could be was great. But then also the actual main character of Charlie Watson, she was actually likable, and you actually wanted to know what was happening with her. Like Sam from the first movie was okay. Cade Yeager, not relatable.
I think the difference with Charlie is that she wasn't a predestined chosen one.
She was just a kid. She was just a
just
tomboy that
randomly
liked.
met up with Bumblebee.
Yeah,
And
just
it was a journey of self rediscovery for both characters. They were both lost. And they had to help each other find themselves again.
It also helps that my favorite animated movie of all time is The Iron Giant, and this movie is very much The Iron Giant but Transformers.
Yeah,
because it has all the same. It follows the same kind of story.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's full of heart. The characters are amazing. And
importantly, it wasn't the same basic plot as the first 5 movies.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they were all love or hate those movies, right? They all basically followed the same basic plot line. Bumblebee followed a different path, which I think was something that the franchise really needed. It was a breath of fresh air, something different. And I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing that with Rise of the Beasts as well. I think Rise of the Beasts looks like it's going to be something different. Definitely. And similarly, Rise of the Beasts, like you look at all the characters, you know exactly who's who.
They're colorful.
They're colorful.
They're not all.
They're not genericized.
You
know,
look
exactly
like monsters.
Yeah.
They look like Transformers.
We'll definitely segue into that for sure, and I want to allude to that in a minute because I think there's still so much to think about in terms of just the toys here. Now, the only thing is, pardon my ignorance, but what we're missing from that really is Megs. Why have they not made Megatron yet?
Didn't make a Megatron.
No,
he didn't appear in the Bumblebee movie.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah. So would a toy line say, well, I'm going to make something anyway to fill in that? You know what I mean? So, for example, if someone wanted to sort of pseudo collect or finish that collection as far as Decepticons and Autobots were concerned, they could.
Like a theoretical.
I mean, realistically, if we're talking about completing the movie, then that's pretty much it because he didn't appear.
I know, so, but it would have been nice if it was like an exclusive little.
Funny enough, there was in the Bumblebee, I think it was part of the movie. If you bought it on DVD, there was either a comic book or a little scene where it shows, Megatron's in Hoover Dam and the Sector 7 has him and he looks more G1. So
technically, a concept art.
It was a concept art. It was actually animated, but not like it was not fully animated, but storyboard. Yeah, storyboard. Right. So they're alluding to that because I did rewatch this today, and they do show Hoover Dam and Sector 7 doing. Yeah, they are in Hoover Dam, and that's where their base is. Yeah, and exactly. So Young Simmons. So there's lots of things that do tie it towards being part of that universe. But yes, so Megatron, there is a technical design of him.
Yeah.
Does it matter that we have a toy? It doesn't bother me that we don't have a toy.
Well, I'm pretty sure in that sequence there was Shockwave in there as well. But how come we didn't get that?
We did.
There's a small one.
I know, but why? Why can't we have it the same? You know what I mean?
So I was telling Kelvin about this before. It's just a fan theory, and it's really stupid.
Okay.
So there's the one scene where you can see there's Soundwave in the foreground, so he's big, and Shockwave's like really
far away.
quite far in
Far
the
away.
background.
Yes.
So there's a fan theory that that they drew it from that scene, and that's why we've only got a Legends Shockwave so far. Knowing that now Transformers is amazing at the moment of just putting out any figure plus figures that we never thought we'd ever see.
Yeah.
He'll come later. Like they're still making Bumblebee.
make
They're
a
still
Voyager
making Bumblebee.
class,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. They'll make a Voyager. They're still
Yeah.
making Bumblebee figures. I'd be super surprised, even if they just upscale that. I think people will just be like, at least we've got it.
Can I
Like,
grab? Can you pass me that figure, by the way? I
Which
mean,
one?
maybe
The
Shockwave. So I think maybe what they want to do is like, well, maybe they should do it force perspective.
If that were true, then this thrust should be tiny too, because thrust only appeared
Exactly.
in the background.
I
So
wouldn't
I don't
actually-
buy. I don't
actually
buy
mind
that theory.
seeing I wouldn't mind seeing a Legend scale.
Look,
Tetradek.
my suspicion is that they had quotas to fill out for each of this price points, so they needed an extra core class figure.
But like,
And then with the Voyagers, like you can only release so many Voyagers per assortment. So because we've already got Soundwave, there you got Blitzer, you got the Seekers, so they're occupying those spots for the
but Shockwave is
Voyagers.
such a cool design.
I don't disagree with that.
It's
Yeah.
But they
disappointing.
might revisit it later. Who knows? I mean, Studio Series is known for coming back.
But
to
but as you said,
old design.
just to touch on Hasbro at the moment.
Yeah.
Hasbro has come leaps and bounds in the toy line that even really obscure character that's not going to stand. Like super obscure characters are getting
Yes.
like deluxe Voyager, even leader class, sometimes even Titan class, like Black Zarok. Who would have thought we got him?
Yeah.
So like
Rotor
saying-
Storm.
you can
But
just the
Rotor
list goes
Storm,
on
yeah,
really.
yeah.
So saying that I highly doubt we're never not going to get at least a Voyager class or even leader class Shockwave down the line, because the sky's the limit at the moment. There's no
They did do Studio class leader class Shockwave from Dark of the Moon.
and they could just retool
So
it.
it might be like
They could retool it.
yeah, there might be
There's no
waiting
limit.
for
There's no limit
time,
on what
who
they can
knows?
do, and that's the exciting thing about
Yeah.
being like what excites me as a Transformers fan at the moment is that Hasbro is just making anything and everything, and it's just exciting to see what's coming next. And that's a reason that I love being a modern Transformers fan.
Simon, your thoughts on just having a look at some of these? I mean, does it? I mean, I know, and the reason why I'm throwing to you is because I know you're a very hardcore G1 fan. Do any of these bot designs, are they reminiscent of?
I like this, and like what Kelvin was saying, like I'm not going to say I'm a huge fan of the Bay film designs.
Yeah,
you
and
know,
that's
I won't get
fair.
into my reasons.
Yeah.
But these ones are a really nice marriage.
Yeah.
Of a sort of modernization with the sort of bells and whistles and stuff you expect, but
Yeah.
still like there's no mistaking that is Soundwave, that is Optimus Prime.
Yes.
Like the silhouette, just I always say there's a squint test. If you can squint at a figure and tell who it is, then they've done it. They've identified the character of the figure and brought it to life.
Yeah.
And I only wish that I was allowed to touch these, but apparently I'm too clumsy, and Clinton won't let me have a play with them.
Turn the
Sound wave around. Yeah, sure, we can. In fact, why don't we put it on the why don't we put it on that turntable there?
So one thing that's an interesting feature from this Soundwave design.
Yeah.
It's on the Studio Series toy too, but you can see it more clearly here.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There we go.
Does it turn?
I think Simon will turn it on. There we go. Beautiful.
Revolution.
There we go.
So on the back is this centerpiece here, which is reminiscent of the original toy, where you would put the guns, which became a pair of AA batteries. That is because the thing is, Travis Knight, when he made the Bumblebee movie, I believe he said something like, "This is a love letter to the '80s." There's a reference to Alf and all these other '80s things in that movie. But yeah, this is very much like that G1 toy, having that little faux battery pack there.
It hits all the beats.
Yeah,
It really does.
yeah. Because Travis Knight is, around our age. He grew up in the '80s. He was a child of the '80s. He grew up with Transformers in the '80s, and that was his childhood. So you can see his passion really coming through in the Bumblebee movie.
100%.
Yeah,
that is my dream of what the pure blend of movie aesthetic and G1. That is Soundwave.
Yeah.
Like that is what you expect from like a realistic kind of gritty lots of parts, jumbly Soundwave.
Yeah.
I mean, Simon, you got to agree. I mean, being a G1 fan, but that's a great looking bot, don't you reckon?
Oh, it's fantastic. No, it looks great.
Yeah.
It looks great.
Yeah, I think they've got a good. They've managed a good blend. A good, like you said, a good blend of G1 and.
I mean, we don't want to just keep recreate. Look, I'm the first to admit that G1 designs, the figures, they're pretty boxy. you know, they done what they did with the technology at the time for these toys. You know, the fact that at that time they could make something that had a good vehicle mode and, you know, managed to be minus something like Ratchet or Ironhide, for example. But like most of the time, you had a pretty decent figure out of them.
Yeah.
You know, the articulation wasn't great, but hey, that's what imagination was for back when you were a kid.
Yeah.
But these things are great. I really like it.
We got some comments. Mark Jones goes, Megatron was left out of the script because they never made a decision as to whether Bumblebee was linked to the Michael Bay films and wanted to keep their options open.
Yeah, the studio was very risk adverse. They didn't really want to go one way or the other.
That's can I touch on that? That is why this very much Starscream looking Blitzwing looks like that, because Travis said he wanted to establish in his original script, he wanted to establish that this isn't the Michael Bay universe. So he gets the exact same thing happens, and Blitzwing gets destroyed, which was originally supposed to be Starscream, and saying, okay, it can't be the same universe because Starscream obviously lives in that universe and all that. So it was changed because I think it might have been Lorenzo Di Bonaventura that's just like, oh, we're gonna, or just everyone else, including Bay, saying, oh, we want to try and leave the possibility of it still being connected to the Michael Bay universe in there. Leave their options open. Yeah. But Travis initially wanted. That's why, because let's be honest, that looks like Starscream. It's a Seeker.
I actually thought
it was. So that's Blitzwing. That's the character.
Actually Blitzwing.
That's the character called Blitzwing.
Was he a triple changer?
No.
We have also another comment.
There was a toy of him that was a tank as well. There was a toy that was a tank as well, but they're not in the movie.
Also, Rob Franklin goes, by the way, 3-0 have also just announced RC.
Yes, which you will be getting.
Incredible, because in the line of 3-0,
that's based on this RC here from Bumblebee.
Exactly there. So Rob Franklin goes, the RC figure from the RC figure from the Bumblebee movie is the best version of all the recent RC figures. That's according to Rob.
Oh, cool. Good on
Does she turn into a motorbike?
A Cybertronian motorcycle.
Yeah, it's like a 4-wheeled motorbike. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So speaking of Cybertronian forms, what are your thoughts on the bot design? Do you like the Cybertronian sort of modes, or I know some people, and I'm gonna open a can of worms here. Some people hate the Tetrajets. I know people go, oh, I can't stand Tetrajets.
Which
Who
Tetrajets?
are those people?
The
They're
G1 one?
They're called fake fans,
Fun
is what
fact,
they are.
Yeah.
In all of Generation 1, Starscream was never a Tetrajet.
There you go.
Only
Yeah, it was
Skywalker, and Thundercracker, and the
Rainmakers.
Rainmakers.
Yeah.
But Starscream, even back before he arrived on Earth, millions of years in the past, was still an F-15 Eagle, which makes no sense, but he was.
Yeah, but that's G1 for you.
Yeah.
Anyway, your question was,
what is the atmosphere on Cybertron? Do they breathe?
Yes, the answer is yes.
So it makes no sense, but yes, in all of G1, it was a breathable atmosphere, which makes no sense. The first Transformers Prime established Cybertron as having a toxic atmosphere to humans.
That's why
that's why Jack Darby had to have the spacesuit. And there's a scene where the Decepticons captured all the humans, and they threatened the Autobots if they didn't back down, they
just opened up and
expose them to the atmosphere and kill them. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's good. So going back again to the Bumblebee movie, right? You've already announced that we're going to have a special.
It's going to be huge. It's going to be such a big giveaway.
Out of this world.
Are they going to get to sit with the toy reel guys?
They absolutely will.
Oh, that's a prize in itself.
I know. Just meeting us and just being with us should be enough. But you get to see the movie before pretty much the rest of the world.
To be fair, we will only charge $15-20 an autograph. Is that right? Is that what we agreed upon? Yeah.
No, not at all. So let's.
He's cool.
So let's talk about then the connection, or what the connection with this movie to the Rise of the Beast would be. What are your thoughts on that, Kelvin?
I have to be careful of what I say because I've signed an NDA.
Yes.
So the Rise of the Beast takes place between Bumblebee and the 2007 movie. I think I can say that. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Lorenzo's come out and said that he's trying to connect this to that movie.
It is supposed to be.
But then again, Lorenzo has said, "Oh, it's a reboot. Oh, it's not. Oh, it's a reboot." So we don't know. He's a unique individual, Lorenzo. He doesn't really say. I think he wants people to go and discover for themselves in the movie. So
let's do that.
At the end of the day, personally, I don't care if it's a reboot or not. I just want a good movie. That's all I care about.
Fair enough.
And Bumblebee was a great movie. I don't care if it's a reboot or not.
I know the answer. I can't divulge it.
Sure. Okay, that's
Yeah.
all right. All good. We understand.
Yeah.
Now, what about the toy line? Okay, actually, before we go to the toy line, what about the bots? Will we see any of these reiterations in Rise of the Beast? You think?
Bumblebee. I mean, actually, this is the Rise of the Beast Bumblebee toy here.
Yeah.
Where who else is it? Wheeljack will be there.
Shall we put him on the little
so
thing there?
Bumblebee will be there.
Yeah.
Wheeljack will be there. Who is the first bus transformer we've ever had?
Mm-hmm.
So
No, yeah.
no, we've never had a bus transformer toy.
Well, yeah, I guess
is the
if you
toy?
call a combi van a bus,
It is a small bus, but it's a bus.
but then there is actually a bus in Transit who
But
it's a
there's never a
Decepticon.
figure made of him.
Oh, you're talking about figure mate.
Yeah.
Oh,
As in
okay.
a toy I can
'Cause-
actually play with.
Because like I thought you were talking about like the first
There's-
ever like
No,
character.
there's been bus
turned into-
transformers in canon, but never as a figure. I mean, there was Bendy
and
Bus
well,
Prime.
this is technically it's also the first combi van as well, obviously. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
So it
So-
also counts as a bus.
Bus, yeah.
So we got a comment from Jamie, Captain Australia Studios. Thanks for joining us, Jamie. Always
Jamie.
lovely to have you on board. Jamie goes, Bumblebee is before the Rise of the Beast, but Optimus Prime and Bumblebee on their next adventure, Wheeljack, Mirage, RC, and Stratosphere. That's what happens. The Unicron Beast trilogy begins.
This is the new Unicron trilogy.
Yeah.
That's what we're thinking it is anyway.
We also have the Ragu Overlord. Is this replacing the TFCC live stream? No, it's not. It's not replacing the live stream. I think Transformers Weekly will still be on.
Yes, that is coming back.
Yeah, that's coming
Yes.
back. So this is not.
Where Toy Reel? That's
That's absolutely.
TCCA.
Yeah. G'day, Dave. Hi, guys. Hope it's a great night for you. I'm at work, but I'll watch the show when I finish for sure. No problem. Thank you. Good then. Dave Bottrell's online. Cool. Okay, so let's go back to the Bumblebee again. Let's have a look at that puppy over there. How similar, how different, Kelvin?
From the previous movie.
Yes.
So this is very much taking cues from the Bumblebee movie because he's got those big, sort of cute baby eyes.
Yeah.
Because the Michael Bay one has sort of smaller, more menacing look on his face.
Yeah.
Whereas in the Travis Knight movie, he made Bumblebee look basically more adorable.
Cute.
Yeah, more adorable.
It was
because
very cute.
Because he had to be because he can't talk for most of the movie, so he has to emote through his face.
Yeah, face. Yeah.
So this Bumblebee in Rise of the Beast is using the same sort of format there. But of course, at the end of the Bumblebee movie, he scans that 1970s Camaro, which he still has in Rise of the Beasts. This toy has like the extra bull bar, and I'm not going to transport now, but it's got those extra accessories on the vehicle. But it's basically the 70s Camaro, just with a few mods on it. But yeah, so the design is pretty much linking between Bumblebee and the 2007 movie.
Okay. As far as designs and molds are concerned, correct me if I'm wrong, but is in that mainline range of figures there, is Ironhide and Ratchet the same mold essentially?
Yeah, pretty much except for the heads. Yeah,
they are except for the heads. Yeah, they are the same, right? Can we just put it on there and just have a look because they are quite nice. Personally, one of my favorites. Brawn is one of. Actually, I did say to Mikey that he asked me before what was one of my favorite Transformers, and Brawn is one of my favorite Transformers. But let's have a look at the two of them.
Brawn is awesome
because he always reminds me of this old cranky man, and that's me.
Brawn was also, for fans of the Marvel comics, Brawn was also the protagonist in the first Transformers story ever written by Simon Furman.
Yeah,
that's cool.
It's called The Enemy Within.
Simon Furman. Yeah, you read all the IDW stuff. Are you a big fan of that? The IDW comics? Yeah.
But, I mean, obviously, growing up in the UK, he wrote I had the Marvel Transformers UK.
Yes.
Yeah. I'd read that religiously. Religiously.
Yeah.
I remember spending as a kid tracing the covers.
Is it weird that I still know the exact date of when that first issue from Simon Furman came out?
No, probably not.
It was the 12th of January 1985.
Yeah, it's
there you go.
A little bit stalkery.
It's pretty good. Yeah, man, you can recount your dates. But
the thing I remember most from that comic was the reprint of the US. I don't know why it sticks in my head, but there was that guy. He had the stretchy arm, and that dude. He goes, "I've only got one of the comic." Now the guy pulls it off.
Scrounge.
Yeah, I don't know why that is tattooed on my brain for 30 years.
The smelting pool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now it's funny because in Australia we had both the US and the UK comics, but then so we read the stories in the US comics first, and then you pick up the UK comics because they've got their own unique stories, but then you're rereading
because you had
US
the back
stories.
reprint.
Yeah. So I've read half of this before, but
then they always threw in some weird other Marvel reprint.
Combat Colin.
Combat Colin by Lou Stringer.
Correct.
He was well known in the UK. He'd done a lot of
And
that
semi-automatic Steve.
Done a lot of those sort of one-page strips in
Yeah.
various comics.
What were your favorite Transformer comics, you think, throughout all the collecting and all the reading?
Like arc-wise?
Yeah.
I mean, I think like as a kid, I remember when Spike got the power, the Matrix, and this was in the Buster,
Yes,
sorry.
yes.
Yeah.
And then they had just introduced Jetfire, and he made him fly
Fly
apart. And it's
apart,
just like it was
yeah.
like this big one-page spread. He's just going like, and
yeah,
he
that was
just,
amazing.
and I was like, oh,
Because
my
Jetfire
God.
was swooping in to grab him,
Yeah.
and Sparkplug and his girlfriend Jessie, but and the thing is, none of them knew he had the power of the Matrix in him. He kept it a secret. And then he gets up, and then Spark was like, "Son, what are you doing? Get down!" I was like, "No, Dad, I can do this." And just with his mind, he just mentally disassembles Jetfire.
Especially there was the other one where they downloaded Optimus Prime's brain
On
onto
a
a floppy disk.
Yes.
There's a comment, Ragu of Logords. There's a song about Scrounge on that second Respect the Prime CD. There you go. There's a song about Scrounge.
Did you
I
know
have
that?
to listen to
Did you know
that.
that? Yeah.
There you
Check it
go.
out,
Something that
check it out.
Kelvin doesn't know.
There
That's
you go.
that's a first.
Yeah. What about you, Kelvin? You're sort of big into the comics thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
my favorite arc. I've got quite a few to pick. I quite like the Matrix Quest. The other one's also probably Time Wars is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay. Let's talk about this stuff going now into Rise of the Beast. We are all very much looking forward to that.
Well,
movie.
I'm actually going to have to see this Bumblebee film now. You know, it wasn't that
You
I
should.
went out of my way not to see it,
Yeah.
but you know, I watched the first couple
well,
of
Simon,
Transformers films.
You're going to be at someone's place tomorrow that has a copy of Bumblebee, so it might be on. Who knows?
Yeah.
No, you better.
I think quite a few people had sort of like fatigue from
The base
The-
stuff.
That's
the
exactly my
previous
friend.
movies.
My
Yeah,
friend,
yeah.
my friend Josh. He's like, yeah, look, I loved, and this is pretty much everyone that I talk to. They loved the first three. Even people like two, which is surprising. Non-Transformers fans actually like two as a movie, which is good. It's not actually a bad movie if you turn your brain off. Like, it's very obvious that it's affected by a script strike and all that, the writer strike. But anyway, then people really dislike 4 and 5, which is fair because the main protagonist is just unbelievable. It's like the strong guy Marky Mark as an inventor, and it was just like not believable.
Those Michael Bay movies, they're just cut and paste of the same plot.
Yeah. Basically.
Now, even if you love that plot, and I think who's a nostalgia critic put it well in his by saying like, no, even if you love that plot, you love the Michael Bay movies, it is still basically the same thing over and over and over again. No matter whether you love it or hate it, it's just the same thing. And I think, as I said before, Bumblebee gave us something new. Like it or dislike it, it's different.
Yeah.
And Rise of the Beast is giving us something that looks different. And I think that's the important thing. If they're going to make new movies, change it up, mix things up.
I think The Last Night almost destroyed us ever getting another Transformers movie like again. I think that one almost destroyed the whole universe. And then they took a gamble with Bumblebee. They did because it was something new, was something different. And I don't think it was completely well received. Like if we're talking about the Bumblebee movie, I don't think it was extremely well received when it came out. Like I don't think many people saw it, but then it became a cult classic, and then now everyone loves it. And they should, because it is legitimately the best Transformers movie by the 86 one, Simon.
By the 86 one. You got the 86 one and then you have Bumblebee.
Well, in my opinion, it's Bumblebee then 86, but that's just
okay.
That's just a bit of controversy.
you know what? That's fine.
Everyone's entitled to their opinion.
Everyone. Yeah, everyone. Yeah.
Oh, as soon as Megan Fox left.
Yeah, well, that's true. And then she went to Turtles and then helped the Turtles. So there was the fatigue, especially after The Last Night, which was horrible. And then a lot of people dropped off. And then people are starting to get back and like, oh, okay, there's a new movie out. I might as well watch Bumblebee. And people are starting to really enjoy it. So now they're even more hyped to see Rise of the Beasts. And I think because I've been watching a lot of trailer reactions and people are just like, oh, Optimus looks like he does from back in my day. And then you've got the G1 fans are happy. And then you've got grown-ups who were fans of Beast Wars when they were kids. And then now they're grown-ups saying, hey, it's Optimus Primal. He's in this movie. Hey, look, Cheetor, Air Razor. I remember those characters, Rhinox. So then, and a lot of people are saying, where's Rat Trap? And we're hoping he's in the movie, but who cares? But like you all of the, like pretty much all of the G1 fans are well old enough to enjoy movies, but like Beast Wars fans are now, up to the point where they want their time in the sun, and now they're having it.
Yep.
And I'm really excited for everyone to, both of the different types of fans to come together, and yeah, hopefully it's good. And from all the trailers I've seen multiple times, because I'm super excited to see this movie, it looks good.
You a Beast Wars kind of guy?
Oh man,
Yeah,
keeping it
G1
PG. I
alert.
was when Beast Wars was around. I was into something completely different.
Yeah.
So I say that, as I said before, Bumblebee was directed by Travis Knight, who was a child. He grew up in the 80s, so the original Transformers was his childhood. Rise of the Beast is directed by Steve Caple Jr. And he grew up in the 90s, so he's about 10 years younger than Travis Knight.
Okay.
So Beast Wars would have been, I don't know if he was into Beast Wars as a child, but it would have been within his range when he was growing up. Yeah. Right? So I think Bumblebee's strength was that it was directed by someone who had a childhood connection with Generation 1. It'll be interesting to see Rise of the Beast, because the director may have a childhood connection with Beast Wars being the right age for that. So it'll be that I'm hoping that's the case, but time will tell.
We got a quick comment here. Mark Jones goes, issue 5 on the Marvel US, the Transformers are all dead, is still today. Mate,
that's like the best comic book cover of all
sometimes
time.
just give me a sec. I just find it really hard to read some of Mark's comments because there are no commas or full stops or capital letters. Today, the best known cover, and then it established early on that Megatron was not the dominant Decepticon that he is in the Sunbow cartoon.
But yeah, that cover, honestly, that are all dead with Shockwave.
How many times do people try to recreate that?
That's the pose I have even on my shelf.
It's not so much that Megatron wasn't powerful in Marvel Comics. It's just that Shockwave was also really powerful. Because in the Sunbow cartoon, Shockwave was just a sycophant.
Yeah,
he didn't do anything other than just you stay home and guard the base.
Yep,
whereas in the Marvel Comics, Shockwave was incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
He was a menacing threat.
And he was actually trying to take over more than Starscream was, wasn't he?
And unlike Starscream, he succeeded.
Yeah, exactly. He was a more successful Starscream.
He's like Starscream but successful.
Yeah. And it's funny because the Starscream trope is now actually a trope these days. Like it's a movie trope. Like they did the Starscream where like the second in command of the villain is trying to take over the villain, so it's called a Starscream. Have you heard of that one before? Shockwave, the Shockwave masterpiece.
I had a Radio Shack one.
Yeah, same in Australia.
Tandy.
Yeah, because from Tandy, because we never got the original Shockwave in Australia. So a lot of us from Australia only had.
There was stuff in the UK
Tandy,
we never got.
Yeah.
Like Swoop, for example, for some.
Yeah, no, we didn't have the original Shockwave. So
we got
the Tandy one.
We got another comment here from Rob Franklin. He goes, even though the animation in Beast Wars animated somewhat dated, it still has fantastic writing and character arcs.
Can I say,
good stuff for its time?
Look,
it was cutting edge for its time.
It was cutting edge for its time, but people like modern, like a lot of these people that are reacting to the trailers, just like, oh, I'm not watching Beast Wars, it's unwatchable, blah 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 blah. I'm just like, yeah, okay, the CG is a little bit dated, but like I'm there for the story and the characters, and it's honestly, Beast Wars is the best when it comes to story arc, characters, and everything like that, in my opinion. So just if it's shoddy, it's not even like you can tell what's what.
It's dated because it's cutting edge.
Yeah.
Right. And what some people may not know is that when Mainframe Entertainment was animating Beast Wars, the current off-the-shelf software at the time was inadequate. They wrote their own software to animate that show.
Yeah. Pretty
cool. That's how much they were pushing the envelope.
Yeah.
But all I have to say is, if the only reason you're not watching Beast Wars is because you think the CG is dated, just like give it a go. It has some of the best episodes of Transformers in history.
I would say best Transformers screen story ever.
Exactly.
Name me a better one. You won't.
No, there's not one. It's the best. It deals with a lot of really hard hitting issues, and it's just fantastic.
The only better stories are in the comics, but as far as screen stories are concerned, Beast Wars.
Okay, let's get back to these guys over here. So on the table again, I'm gonna see what the availability of these is. And if anyone wants to get into these things, I'm sure they're still available. But going back to Ratchet again and Ironhide, let's do a close up on those, David. We can. What are your thoughts on the overall bot design? Do you think it was a hit or miss, Kelvin, with these guys?
Look, it's challenging because in the Bumblebee movie, with all the characters except for Optimus Prime and Bumblebee, all the and the Seekers, right? All the Transformers you see in that scene, they never had alt modes designed. They were like these 3-0 figures here. They were only ever designed as robots.
Yes.
Because they never transformed on screen, so there's no point building those CG assets.
Yeah.
So Hasbro had the challenge of making a figure that looks like the robots on the screen, but they have to be able to transform into an alt mode.
Yeah.
I think with Ratchet and Ironhide, they were quite successful.
Mm-hmm.
With some of the other toys, not so much successful. Soundwave, sorry.
Well, it's true.
Yeah, but you know, it's challenging because they were never, as far as the screen models were concerned, they were never meant to transform.
Yeah.
So you know, that's always a challenge.
But they did a good job.
I think they
The
did a
alt
very good
modes are
job.
pretty cool. Like it's very. I love RC's alt mode. They're pretty cool with their little kind of Cybertronian vans. Again, the only one that doesn't hit the mark is Soundwave because he basically turns into a pancake. But yeah, everything else, the Tetrajets are really cool because like what they did with the Tetrajets was they started on the base toy, which was the Blitzwing design, and then just re-engineered it into a Tetrajet, which was cool.
Yeah, that's actually some people think that they're actually two very different designs. They're entirely different.
Mold.
Shall we?
really?
Shall we bring those two?
So I'll bring those two over. Yeah. So
let's have a look.
Blitzwing and Starscream are completely different designs. So at first glance,
Yep.
they may look like they're from the same. So
Mold.
Blitzwing may look like a Seeker.
Yeah.
But when you look at them side by side,
Maybe back
they're
to back. Let's go back to back.
We'll see.
and
I'll see if we can fit them on the podium or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe not.
then maybe back to back, and then we'll do the. We'll do
and
the.
you can see.
Then shall we turn on the little? The
Yeah,
thing,
no, they're
Simon?
completely different.
Oh, okay. I've never actually
And when
experienced
you
it. I just assumed.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I mean, they have a similar silhouette, but they are entirely different designs, and the transformation is completely different.
Yeah, right.
So there's more to them than meets the eye.
Quick question, guys. What is this supposed to be?
That's thrust.
That's thrust.
So the colors are taken from Armada Thrust, not G1. That's why it's
Okay.
green yet.
I presumed it was acid storm.
I don't blame you. From a G1 perspective, it looks
Yeah.
more like Acid Storm, but it is meant to be Thrust. But yeah, more of an homage to Armada. So Armada Thrust as a toy was the first cone head. So the robot has like a fake nose cone as the top of the head.
This part here, I take it.
Actually, this is a toy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be the
That's the
representation of the
yeah,
cone
yeah.
itself. Yeah.
I like that. It's a different thing. Instead of making
Yeah.
his actual head the cone,
Cone.
like having
Because
that
you
little
can't
bone.
actually have the nose cone as the cone head because some people they like to mistransform the second year just by flipping the cones up. But the problem is it ends up being too tall.
I still
So-
do. I still have that.
No, that's it. A lot of
display.
people do.
Can we?
I understand.
Can we?
why.
Can we go on that? Can we go tight on thrust, Dave? Can maybe just put it
Wanna
it
put thrust
somewhere?
in the middle?
Yeah, let's put thrust somewhere where we can go. Dave can go tight on it. Let's have a look.
Yeah.
Green. Yeah. There we go. Let's go on. Go tight and thrust. Thank you. Let's have a look at that baby over there. Nice.
Yes.
Yeah. No, it's a very cool design. The
Yeah,
way
so
we've done it.
Armada Thrust was the first to have a fake nose cone on his head.
Yeah.
Because that way it's nice and short. But then when you transform to jet mode, the actual nose cone is a separate piece.
Yeah.
Armada
And ever since then, that's been the standard.
Armada
So even
Thrust,
Masterpiece with the cone heads, it's a fake nose
it
cone.
does. It is a little bit fake, but it still is the nose cone on Armada Thrust.
We got a couple of
The
comments.
tip, yeah.
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 Mark
What's
Jones.
Soundwave's alt mode in this film.
Semi-fake.
He
He doesn't have one. He doesn't transform the film.
Yeah, none of the Cybertronian.
Because they all just be
guys
for a
don't.
few seconds.
Yeah.
Mark Jones goes, unfortunately, Rat Trap, this is going back a bit, Rat Trap was written out of the film after he got stepped on by Battle Trap. Battle Trap claims it was accidental.
Typical.
Ragu Overload goes, they don't photograph well. So I'm not sure what you're alluding to, maybe these figures. Rob goes, Hasbro met the challenge, succeeded. Braun, Wheeljack, and RC are my favorites. That's what he reckons.
Yeah.
Rob?
Braun, Braun
Braun,
to me,
He's a great toy.
oh, I love that. I love that design. Maybe we should put it on and just check it out. But Braun is phenomenal. He
I'm glad you can say because I'm biased with Braun, so you know.
you are?
Well, because he was my first Transformer. So.
Yeah, I actually
Yeah, how fun is that? You both of yours. Your favorite Transformer. Your first is he your favorite?
Not my favorite, but he was my first. So
Here's some trivia. Who's your favorite Transformer?
Ultra Magnus.
Reason?
What's yours?
Consistency is victory. Is his motto.
Jazz, probably.
Simon's Jazz.
Ultra Magnus. for me,
Ultraman's
yeah.
Jazz. Why Jazz?
Because he was a Porsche, man.
Oh, okay.
And he was a DJ.
All
and
right,
he, and he
all right
spoke
then.
in like crazy rhymes.
Scatman Crothers.
Yeah.
All right then. All right.
Yeah.
There you go. See, Simon's now going, yeah, I need to play with something.
Oh, you know,
Really?
well, perhaps these ones,
That's
you know,
what
being made
toys are
for
for.
ages
No,
5 and up. I want-
honestly, these are definitely more robust than these ones here.
for sure, for sure. It's not like I'm going to pelt it against
Soundwave,
someone.
obviously, and mine, Braun.
Soundwave for me, always because of the G1 voice. I loved whenever he spoke in the cartoon, so that's why Soundwave is my favorite. G1 Soundwave is most Soundwaves, but
That's
He
good.
G1
was probably
Soundwaves.
one of the most competent ones too. Like he never
He was.
really messed up. He
No.
was loyal.
He was a
Actually-
good.
you know,
Actually, Simon had made a good point the other day. He says, "What was it? Sound? He never gets in trouble, does he?"
he never like
He
he's
never-
always like. So he's always fixing up stuff, you know.
Yeah.
For me, Megatron could rely on him
Yeah.
to get jobs done, whereas Starscream just is.
Yeah,
He was always screwing up everything.
buffoon.
If it wasn't for you, Megatron.
He's always getting in trouble.
Ah,
Okay, so Jazz, Braun, Soundwave,
no, Ultra Magnus.
Ultra Magnus, Braun.
Are you asking who's my favorite as a kid or who's my favorite now?
As a kid,
Oh, as a kid was Optimus Prime.
Optimus Prime. Okay, then
Yeah,
now,
Oh.
now it's Ultra Magnus.
Yeah,
Cliche much.
I got it. What do
I
you
was a
reckon?
kid.
Should we ask the guys in the studio what their favorite Transformers are?
Yes, Dave. Who's your favorite Transformer? Who's the other guy?
Soundwave and Braun
Deftman.
or Bumblebee?
Blaster.
Blaster.
Soundwave and Blaster.
Sound Blaster.
Katie, who's your
Sound
favorite
Blaster.
Transformer? Bumblebee.
Bumblebee.
Very good.
Come on, Christian, tell us what it is. What's your favorite Transformer? Optimus Prime.
Very
There you
good.
go.
There you go.
There you
Very
go.
good.
Cool. I mean,
Excellent.
yeah, but actually, speaking of Optimus, I think this guy as a design. There you go, Simon. You want to lift him up and put him over there?
Oh, you're letting Simon
Whoa.
touch him.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah.
a
I'm just,
risky.
going to have a quick look.
Yeah, take a quick look. I
Really need to keep better care of this. A lot of dust.
I know. I gotta say.
Yeah.
Speak of dust. Yeah. Poor guy.
That's what I collect now mainly. That's 90% of my collection.
I've
is
seen
dust.
the dust in the collection. The design for this,
That is cool.
I got to say, 3.0 actually have their own DLX line of figures as well. There's an additional Megs figure as well as Optimus, and that is closer more to the G1 design. But for me, I got to say,
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
That is really cool.
that is thoughts, guys, on this
I mean,
Optimus.
I would never use this as a one-off piece. I'd be happy to have that around the house. Like every now and again, when I see something that's particularly special, if it's outside of my usual range of collecting,
Yeah.
I'll still bring it in. Just, I've always got that shelf where it's got those one-offs. I don't have to collect the whole line, but
Yeah.
I do like one piece from it that I consider the best, and
Yeah.
that is really nice.
Let's get the turntable working.
I think your batteries are a little bit flat here, my friend.
yeah, probably is. What do you reckon, Kelvin? What do you think of this Optimus design?
No, I think as when we talked about before, this line is that marriage between G1 and movie aesthetic, and I think Optimus Prime exemplifies that.
They've
I
hit
think
that.
Chris McFeely mentioned in the basics on Optimus Prime that he's exceptional among Transformers
Mm,
in that throughout his entire history, Optimus Prime has had a remarkable consistency in design. There are very few Optimus Primes from any continuity of series that breaks the. There's a few,
He's always
not many, that
but-
breaks the basic design of this silhouette, the truck chest,
red
the
and blue truck. He's always a red and blue truck of some
almost
sort.
always. There are a few exceptions.
Like, he was a
but-
fire truck once. Yeah, he was.
No, yeah, but even like,
twice actually.
but even then he still had.
He was a red and blue truck. It was
But he
at the
still
end
had
of
the
the day.
same.
Yeah,
But he had
look,
the same basic design.
He's got the
rubber, like-
blue lower legs. He
Yeah.
has maybe blue legs, red upper
Yeah.
torso, blue head with the face shield sometimes on and off.
The only few exceptions I can think of was G2 GoBot Optimus Prime, but he still had the same. He still had the
but
same
he wasn't in
colors.
much
though.
media. He wasn't in that many.
No,
that
but
much
he
media.
but he still had the core colors of Optimus
Mm.
Prime. I think the biggest divergence that comes to mind was the original Optimus Primal, who was the Bat.
Because he was supposed to be Optimus Prime.
correct.
Yeah.
So he was probably the most divergent of the Optimus Prime toys. But
That's a
aside-
one-off. You have a one-off here and there, but yeah,
but
like
for
Optimus
the
Prime.
most part, Optimus Prime has enjoyed a
Even-
remarkable consistency. in
even
design.
the Bayverse, to its credit,
Yes.
is that basically, but just turns into a long nosed truck. He's got the window.
Yes.
He's got the window pecs. He's got the wheels all around his legs.
Yep.
He's got the head just looks like him. Optimus Prime is in the Bayverse is the most accurate looking to the source material out of pretty much every single Bayverse Transform. I can't think of one that looks more like what the original concept than Optimus Prime.
Mm,
Bumblebee
mm.
doesn't. Ironhide and Ratchet
And
definitely
the
not, you
chopper
know.
flames was added to add more red to the chest.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Just a quick comment. Rob Franklin's favorite Transformers a tie between Will and Blur. So any of
fair
you
enough.
viewers,
That's cool.
send in your
Yes.
your favorite Transformer of all time. Another comment here. Opinion is DevCon is DevCon the Boba Fett of Transformers?
Yes.
In
Well-
G1,
He's a bounty hunter, so kinda.
yeah, I would say more Death's Head, but
Death's Head's the Boba Fett, definitely.
yes.
And then
Hmm.
who's a good guy bounty hunter in Star Wars? Let's say
Dengar.
you're not a good
He
guy.
did become quite good in the end after he
All
was
right,
the
cool.
best man
All
at
right,
Boba
so-
Fett's wedding.
All right. Well, who did he marry?
Jenga.
Yeah, after they got him out the Sarlacc pit, he ended up, he
Whee.
had to get his armor back from Jodo Cast, and then he married someone, and Dengar was his best man.
That's cool. Okay, so
I felt, I don't, that's not canon anymore.
no,
Disney
because-
chopped all
yes,
that
of
stuff.
course, because Disney likes to do what Disney does. Yeah, okay, so DevCon is Dengar and Death's Head is Boba Fett. So there you go.
Why not?
Why not? That's the toy reel canon.
Tory Cannon. A couple of little interesting. We got a little combi, sort of a little beetle down there. You want to tell us what that is, Kelvin?
That's the premium finish Bumblebee.
Yep.
So it's the same mold as the Studio Series, but with a different color scheme.
Who's
Okay.
that character with it?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the
Charlie Watson. So
main
she's the main
protagonist.
human.
That's,
Shall
one,
we-
of, that's
shall
one
we-
of my big problems with
Shall
the
we put it
film
on
series. Too
turntable?
many humans.
Let's put it on.
Yeah,
turntable.
there was one Transformers movie. There's only ever been one Transformers theatrical movie that had 0 humans in it. The
Okay.
Beast Wars movie.
Got a. I think. Yeah, he's got a. He's got a.
But
He's got a
they've had
tight
that
shot
ever
in that.
since the 80s. Every cartoon had to have some sort of child
Yeah,
substitute
yeah,
so that the viewer
the
could supposed to
appeal
identify with
audience
them.
appeal
Well,
characters.
soon
That's
I
why we
guess.
got crap like T-Bob in Mask and Scrappy
Soon
Doo.
we're gonna have
the Whit-
3
Gadzuki.
movies. Soon we're gonna have 3 movies with no humans in it. So you know,
Hmm.
The less humans, the better, I say.
yeah, there's a
So-
trilogy of the animated movies coming
Can-
out from
can-
Cybertron perspective.
So speaking, going back to the Bumblebee movie, can
Mm.
they not make a live action film just on all the Cybertronian shit?
They are.
That-
It's called Transformers 1. It's coming out next year.
Good.
Well,
That's all I want.
Okay, so context on that. Transformers 1 is a fully animated movie featuring 0 humans. So you don't know this?
I don't know this.
Don't you know Transformers 1? Chris Hemsworth's Optimus Prime?
Oh,
That
that
one.
one.
Transformers 1.
But I don't know the release. Is it meant to be?
Well,
is
they
it direct to TV?
allegedly it's
Okay.
next year.
Well, I'll believe it. when it
Rise of the
happens.
Beast was supposed to come out like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Alleged.
so Transformers 1 is the
As well.
Transformers 1 is the first in a trilogy, completely animated movie. No humans, at least in the first one. Set on Cybertron when I think Megatron was a minor and Optimus Prime was a whatever he was in this universe because there's different continuity stuff. So yeah, so we are getting all on Cybertron, very similar to the first 3 minutes of Bumblebee. So you're going to be happy, and we're all going to be happy.
I am going to be
But
very
Chris,
happy.
yes,
Direct to
three
TV.
theatrical movie. Chris Hemsworth, Optimus Prime.
I'm trying to imagine Optimus
trying to
Prime with
imagine-
Hemsworth's voice.
Because
Yeah,
there,
like-
there was a Transformers movie another Transformers movie that had humans, but that was like direct to TV. I don't count.
No,
that.
this is the legit.
I'm talking about
big
theatrical
budget- big
movies.
budget movie.
Okay, yeah.
But
I
Keegan-Michael
sick
Key
of
is
the story
Bumblebee.
being driven by some, scrabbling single dad and is precocious, way smarter than everyone else on the planet, 13-year-old who saves the day and ultimately drives the plot by getting in trouble and having to be rescued from
that's
stuff.
exactly. How did you know? That's exactly the plot of
Because
Transformers 1.
That's almost every film.
See, and
what's-
that's what Bumblebee breaks away from.
It's
What's
good.
what's the dude from
It's called a template.
the
Yeah.
dude from The Matrix?
Morpheus.
Yeah,
Lawrence Fishburne.
Lawrence Fishburne is Alpha Trion.
Yes.
And yeah, there's some pretty cool voice actors. Oh, Scarlett Johansson is Alita 1. Scarlett
Wow.
Johansson.
Very cool.
So that's to come. So if you're a Transformers fan and you're in love with the Transformers movies, this one is the first of 6 movies that are coming out in the next decade or so.
I like it. Quickly, Kelvin, if the powers beyond are watching, what else should come out? What other figures do we need in that line as well as 3-0?
This, as far as I can think of, this is pretty much the cast.
Yes,
the
I know,
Transformers
but
cast
if
of
they
Bumblebee
can
movies.
reimagine, that's why I said
Well,
I know.
Oh,
like
Voyager
just
Shockwave.
expand on it.
Expand on it. That's right.
Voyager
So,
Shockwave, at least.
Yeah,
At
Voyager
least
class Shockwave.
yeah.
If so, most
look.
of these come from Studio Series.
Okay.
Studio Series only does what's on screen.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me clarify.
Yes.
Let me clarify. I don't care what's on screen.
Yeah.
I want to see them.
So beyond that.
Yes,
Yeah,
correct.
okay. That's right.
Expand.
They've done that before with the mainline, not seriously, but
Yeah.
so with the mainline, but they could potentially do like that Megatron from the concept art.
Yes.
I think that's the main one that's quote unquote missing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure what else. I mean, you could do. I mean, theoretically, you could do the rest of the Seekers.
The
like
Seekers, yeah, at
Skywalk,
least the Skywalk,
is an
yeah.
easy replay. You could do Ramjet,
Dirge.
and Dirge. Yeah, that'd be an easy one to do.
Just
you could,
the Rainmakers. They
or
could
you
do a
could do
Rainmaker
like, you know,
3-pack.
yeah, the Rainmakers. You could do Thrust version 2 as the G1 Thrust colors. You could do Sound Blaster. I think they have done Nemesis Prime. And yeah, there's a lot of easy stuff you could do.
Yep.
You know, because it's so G1 based, like, you know, get a G1 character, put a movie on an aesthetic on it. I mean, you know what's surprising? Like, they've never done a movie Ultra Magnus.
Ooh.
Yet.
Even as a lazy repaint of Optimus Prime in white.
Yeah.
They haven't even done that.
Okay.
So, I mean, that'd be an easy one, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If you could sell a Nemesis Prime as a lazy repaint, you know, why not Ultra
Whoever
Magnus?
thought you'd see a Nemesis Prime? I
Yeah.
never thought I'd see an arc that transformed.
Correct, yeah.
I'd love to see more of those over here.
Yeah.
Or 3.0. So obviously with RC coming out, and for that matter, let's do a comparative thing with Bumblebee and maybe let's go side by side or maybe underneath as well. I'll take the actual
I'll just put this
Bumblebee.
one here, maybe.
Yeah, or maybe just put in. Oh yeah. All right, let's get a tight on that and let's do the comparison and have a look. Let's do the movie one. Sorry, Kelvin.
Yep.
He's got his what do you call it? His other
The battle mask.
battle mask on. Yeah, can we go? I think that he doesn't have a battle mask on that one. Pretty sure
It
he
does
doesn't.
come with. I don't know if you've brought it with you.
No, okay.
No, this is my one. I didn't bring it.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah.
Let's have a look.
The interesting thing that I did notice, and again, just because I did watch Bumblebee today and it's so fresh in my mind, I think Prime, Soundwave, and Blitzwing are pretty good size, but I think Bumblebee's a little bit too big, in that scale at least.
Yeah.
Because in the scene, Bumblebee's crawling all over Blitzwing, and it's just like, it doesn't look like that could be. What do you think of the scale between Bumblebee and Blitzwing?
I think it's like. I mean, in the film he seemed alright, but
I feel like he's just a tad like a head shorter. Like he should be a head shorter.
I think we like from G1 we're used to Bumblebee being smaller because G1 Bumblebee was a deformed beetle. It wasn't a properly scaled beetle. The Volkswagen Beetle is longer than what we're used to.
It's not that small a car.
Yeah,
like it's probably bigger than like.
No, but
my
I just came back from watching the movie, and I think Bumblebee was a little bit smaller. So like scale wise, not 100% accurate, but like it still looks great. It's just the point I was making.
Speaking of what's it with the wheeljack in the Bumblebee movie and then the Rise of the Beast?
Yeah, let's bring that up because
I don't see anything wrong with it.
No, tell me.
The one with the glasses.
Yeah.
Because he has glasses in Dark of the Moon.
Okay,
that's you though.
So yeah, who is Wheeljack? Yeah. Yeah. He is.
I mean, but
the toy was always marked as a Wheeljack. I have the toy. He was called Wheeljack.
Look, everyone's up in arms about that. I don't know what you think. You obviously don't care. I cared for a point in time.
There is a substantial difference, though. Like if you look at the Wheeljack.
Well, okay, so it brings continuity into it, which you can speak more about.
Let's talk about the continuity. Okay.
So in Bumblebee, Wheeljack.
Can we just put
time to look at this right now?
Let's put this guy back down.
Wheeljack obviously looks perfectly as what you think a Wheeljack should look like in the.
That's subjective.
Well, I mean, he looks like at least a G1 representation of the closest thing that we've got so far to G1 Wheeljack. And then supposedly when he comes to Earth, not only does he completely change color, but then he loses his ear things. He doesn't have a mouth plate.
He does have the ears.
He does kind of, but not really.
I mean, they're retractable.
They're retractable, but he doesn't have the mouth plate, and he looks completely different. Now that's why I don't really care because like I've given up on trying to like match all these movies exactly to each other because they don't.
In the movies, usually Bumblebee's an exception. Usually when they come to Earth in a scanner form, they do look completely different. In the 2007 movie, when Optimus Prime first crashes on the planet, he's this silver endoskeleton prototype. You know, he scans the truck that drives by, then he has the iconic look. Ironhide, when he comes out of the pool and the girl says, "Are you the Tooth Fairy?" That doesn't look like Ironhide. Then he scans the truck and he looks like Ironhide, right? So
then why does Bumblebee when he
I said
comes...
he's an exception. He's an exception, right?
Okay.
So, but look, objectively speaking, Travis Knight broke visual continuity because he wanted to make the Bumblebee movie, a love letter to the 80s. He was like, I don't care about the visual continuity from the previous movies. I just want to make them all look like G1. So he really broke visual continuity. All right. So if people are going to accuse Steve Capel Jr. of breaking visual continuity because it doesn't look like Travis Knight's Wheeljack, well, Travis Knight also broke visual continuity. If you want to maintain consistency, they all should look like Wheeljack or Q does from Dark of the Moon. If that's the argument you're going to go with. And also, Mirage looks nothing like he does in Dark of the Moon anyway. No one says anything about him.
Do you know what they call it?
In Dark of the Moon?
No, do you know what this breaking continuity is called? Creative license.
There you go. Creative licensing.
Creative license.
And I don't care. I used to care, but I just again, I want Wheeljack to be a cool character.
Exactly.
And it to be a good movie. And that's
also,
all I care about.
don't forget, if he looks like G1 Wheeljack in the movie, it's ridiculous because that concept was always silly because G1 Wheeljack can transform not into just a Lancia Stratos. It was a unique car that was only racing around in Europe, right? And it wasn't even street legal. Same with Jazz. Like these cars are, you can't see them driving around on the
smoke screen as well.
Yes,
like they were specific, like very famous
unique vehicles,
race cars, like the
Lancia.
Yeah, they were rally cars.
Drag Strip, another one.
Wheeljack.
No, but I mean the livery, the paint jobs.
Yeah, Drag Strip.
They were taken
they have
from
individual
actual
numbers,
race cars,
Yes.
the numbers and stuff like that.
All the liveries. The liveries.
The livery.
Yeah.
I love that word. I learned that.
Liveries.
Livery.
Rob
That
Franklin.
just means it kind of tastes like liver.
Liver.
Yeah, it's livery. Yeah.
I like when Rob Franklin goes, Wheeljack is a robot in disguise because no one will recognize him.
And that's the point.
Yeah, it's just like Decepticons go attack Wheeljack. They look at him and just like,
because he transforms a combi man. It's unassuming. That's the whole point of being in disguise.
Wheeljack's one of those characters. I don't know why I've never liked Wheeljack. I never liked the toy. He was always.
Was it because you were a bully at school and you don't like nerds?
No, I didn't like it just because I just did not like it. I had it, and I remember
the gorilla arms.
Yeah,
It's not a good toy, to be fair. Well,
and he was
always
always the one like creating something that caused issues. Why didn't they just lock him away? Life would have been a lot quieter on the arm.
Good old Dr. Smooth.
Yeah.
Giving the Dinobots small brains because it's more accurate to dinosaurs. Good work, Wheeljack.
Now here's the thing: like, a lot of these Autobots transform to hot sports cars, right? And one of my favorite lines from The Dark Knight was when Bruce Wayne says, what does he say? He says to Alfred, like, get rid of the Bat Pod, and he says, in the middle of the day, sir, that's not very subtle. You're right. I'll get the Lamborghini. Oh, that's much more subtle.
Yeah,
yeah.
No one's going to look twice at Mirage driving down the freeway, are they? Like,
so I like the combi band. Like it suits the purpose of.
I love the fact we're getting our first combi van.
Disguise.
I'm glad we're getting our first combi van, and we're glad we're getting our first school bus in this movie.
What?
Hopefully.
Why are you excited about a combi van and a school bus?
Because we've never had Transformers as combi vans or school buses before.
True.
Have we ever had one as a push bike? Would that excite you?
There is a push bike.
Oh God, there isn't.
Yeah,
what did he turn into a BMX?
Yes, correct.
Yes, what's his name? He's from Armada.
Highwire.
Highwire.
All right, tell me when would is there one that turns into a skateboard?
Yes.
Oh,
same team.
His name is Grindor.
Also, Grindor. Yes.
Grindor sounds like a He-Man character.
Jesus, man.
Well,
also
Dark
Action
He-Man
Master
character.
Jazz.
Okay.
Turbo board.
We're clipping the monitors.
Sorry, we're getting passionate here.
Sorry. His head's about to
now the question is, the combi van, is it split screen? It's got to be split screen. Come on, man. It's got to be a split screen combi van.
Is it? Yeah, I think it is. Isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I think it is. But it's exciting because we've never had a combi van before. Now we have an official toy. I really want a toy of. There's a Decepticon called. His name's not free. Transit, and he's a big like bay-looking Decepticon. And he's a big boy that turns into a bus. Yeah. And I want a toy of it. Hopefully he's still in the movie. There's rumors that he might have been cut out. I really hope it's not. But apparently there is a Decepticon called Transit who turns into a bus.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's still in the movie. I pray he is.
The more bus transfers, the better.
I
Is
agree.
there a figure of Grindor anywhere?
Yes, I have it. I'll show you it tomorrow.
I want to see that.
I'll show you tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll bring it to him.
Cool. All right.
Have it?
Mind blown, man. Mind blown.
Yeah, I think we'll probably wrap up pretty soon. That was a
Well,
nice.
Can I just ask one more
No.
question?
Yes, go.
There's not one that turns into a rollerblade, is there?
No.
That's like we haven't actually really
Not yet.
delved into what we think of the movie.
Or
As in,
Bumblebee or Rise of the Beast.
as in, sorry, Dave. What? Go on, say it. What?
Oh no,
The
there is no
yo-yo.
Transformers yo-yo. No,
The yo-yo.
not yet.
I was wondering what this was. And
He's
just like, what do you
called Up Down.
mean?
Hey, guys.
Sorry,
Just keep
sorry.
in mind,
Sorry,
I've
yeah,
got
yeah,
you guys
yeah.
on my ear cams.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, sorry.
Jamie goes,
It's the
"Oh my
Italian
god,
in me.
I'm so excited."
Sorry.
Italian in him.
I'm racist. I'm being racist in my own race. Anyway.
Oh my god, my Jamie goes, "I'm so excited to see next year's Transformers one that Chris Hemsworth is voicing Orion Pax. Can't wait to see it." Well, we're on the
That's
same page.
really interesting. That's going to be really interesting to see what Chris
Okay,
does.
let's
You
close.
He'll keep the accent.
Oh, I'm Optimus Prime. Oh,
G'day, guys.
Good day, guys.
G'day,
Come on.
guys. Oh, that would be good, wouldn't it?
my magic hammer?
Where's my flying hammer? Oh.
So yeah, let's close with the movie and just quick thoughts
Yep.
about the movie. And we can. But before we do that, you want to remind our viewers what the special.
Keep watching over the next couple of weeks because we are going to have a magic giveaway. We are going to be giving away one ticket to the premiere on the 8th of July. June. I mean, the premiere is June, 8th of June. I'll be giving away a special ticket to come to my house on the 8th of July.
I'll be there.
By the way, the advanced screenings are on the 9th of June, I think. So the 8th is the premiere.
Yes.
Yeah, and then there will
Where's
be
that
advanced
being
screening.
held at, Glenn?
It's going to be at the new Disney Studios, which
Disney,
was
Disney, not
used to-
Fox Studios.
not Fox
Disney
Studios.
Studios.
Correct.
I learned that today.
Hey, where's that?
Disney, Fox
At the
Studios.
entertainment quarter
Yeah.
in Moore
The
Park.
it's called
Yeah.
Disney Studios now.
Is it the same cinema where they had Ghostbusters?
Yes,
Okay.
Disney Studios.
So we will be
Cool.
there. We will be reporting from there. So you'll see all, including Dave, and he's getting roped along, and
He can't wait.
we
Cannot
we
wait.
will be
Dave's bringing his up-down toy.
So
We'll
it's
be-
Transformer.
we'll be reporting from there as well. So I'm sure we'll be set up there with the cameras and people arriving, and we'll be talking to different Transformers fans. Kelvin will be there, Mikey will be there, Simon will be there, I'll be there. The whole Toriel entourage will be there. It'll
the
be good
family.
fun.
The
family.
Toriel family.
The Toriel family.
And you can be a part of that too.
Yes.
As long as you wait for the contest,
Dave,
join, win, get the ticket, and come with us.
Dave doesn't have a choice. He's like, oh, do I have a
You
choice?
should see how
Choice is
happy he is
overrated.
right now.
Dave doesn't have a choice.
Dave's just thinking about Grindor.
Okay, let's close out the show. We're going good time. Pretty good time actually.
Excellent.
Final thoughts on the upcoming movie. We'll start with you, Mikey. Quick one.
Oh, and also Bumblebee in general.
Yeah,
the
Bumblebee
movie.
in general.
Yeah, okay. So Bumblebee, my favorite Transformers movie. I think it's just the best. I'm extremely excited for this. I've been waiting for this movie for years and years now. Like it's been delayed however long. But I'm glad that they've done all the final tweaks to make it the best movie they think it can be. And from everything that I've seen, it's going to be good. And I absolutely cannot wait. And yeah, I cannot wait for the 8th of June. Yeah, 8th of June.
What is it
Yeah.
with you fellas and not knowing your
He's got July
dates?
in my head. I was just about to say
Oh my
July. It's all his
good.
fault. Anyway, Kelvin, your thought on the Bumblebee movie and your expectations for the film? New one.
So I thought, Bumblebee, as we've already discussed, was that good. I guess it gave us something different, which is what I enjoyed. I'm looking forward to Rise of the Beasts, also giving us something new, something different. I also like that it's bringing Beast Wars back to the fore, because Beast Wars was the toy line that kept Transformers alive after its darkest hour, and also it was just Generation 2. It wasn't a commercial success, but Beast Wars really bolstered the franchise. And I love how we're showing new love for Beast Wars. And Beast Wars was, we talked about how in Generation 1 the toys were all blocky and unarticulated. Beast Wars was the one that gave us this golden standard, which we have today.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
well,
really
yeah.
introduced
No, I
the
remember,
mainline
going through the, I don't know, Big W or Target back in the day, and I'd see them and they were all chromed out and they were really cool looking toys,
Yeah.
but I was of the age, it was skateboards and girls. That was my
Good old
teenage
Grindor.
years.
And
Grindor.
Skateboarding girls.
Grindor and RC.
Skater Girl.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And I only came back when I saw the Robots in Disguise line. I saw that, and I remember seeing the Optimus Prime and the Ultra Magnus that combined into
Still a
Omega Prime.
Omega Prime.
Grindor.
Though I just thought, yeah, I'm getting that, and then I ended up, oh god, 2,000 figures, and God knows how many dollars later, here I am.
Look at Simon's homage to the Decepticon colors as well as Huffer, but it says Huff.
The bad
SF.
guys are the best.
Yeah, I agree.
Whether
Yeah.
they're Decepticons, Cobra, Venom.
Hey, here's a challenge to the audience.
Doc
Name a
Terror.
purple Autobot.
Yeah.
Post in the comments.
Comments, definitely. Hang on. Mark goes, does Grindor help you find other Transformers fans in your area?
Yes, he does.
Does.
Moving swiftly along, Clinton, what are your thoughts on Bumblebee and also expectations for the movie?
I have to say, Bumblebee, I absolutely loved. That sort of, I think, was one of the reasons why it really stirred my interest in I don't know, just my thing for Transformers again. I don't really know what to expect, because for Rise of the Beast, I think it'd be interesting. I've never been sort of a Beast Wars kind of guy.
So this will be your first real introduction into some of these Beast Wars characters.
Yes, it
Did
will.
you
be.
ever have
Correct.
anything to do with the line back in the 90s?
Never did. Never did. And that's, again, it's not a slight at the Transformers universe. Like I can understand the whole mass shifting thing with technology and machines, but I'm trying to wrap my head around the whole animal thing. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I guess.
You know what? As you said that, I'm keen to see how they explain. Sorry, I'm just keen to see how they explain what a 50-foot tall gorilla is, how that's a disguise. That's what I'm keen to see.
Yeah, who
And
are they
also-
disguising themselves?
Look, that's a
for?
weakness of that movie, I think, and that's why I prefer Beast Wars. Is they had more realistic looking.
They
animal models.
must have landed on Kong Island.
Kong's, yeah.
Yeah,
We'll
Skull
see.
Island.
We'll see.
So how does the mass shifting thing sort of do hardware and then organic material?
No, because the organic material is just the outer shell. It's
Right.
a disguise.
Ah.
It's not part of their body. That's just a disguise.
Mm.
Look, Alice from Revenge of the Fallen.
Yeah.
Same principle. So she looks like a human girl on the outside,
That
but
was, who was that actress?
then it was Isabella Lucas.
Yeah, she was
Yeah,
Australian.
and then she goes transform this robot.
She
underneath.
turns into Medusa.
Yeah, but it's the same concept. It's just the organic looking shell. It's just a disguise.
Mm.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
It'll be fun to see what their
It'd be
excuse is.
it'd be really cool to kind of explain, because for me, I'm big
Mass shifting.
mass shifting. Like you
Do you
can
know
go.
how much space there is between the atoms of your body?
I know, yeah.
That 90% of you doesn't even technically exist. So they just contract. That's it.
Okay. I mean, look, I come from the whole Gene Roddenberry Star Trek thing, where everything is very plausible and feasible when it comes to science.
Teleportation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Faster than light travel. Yeah.
Hey, fucking warp drive.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all right. That's quite possible.
Well, well, I don't
it's got
know
a
if
point.
Zephram Cochrane's going to invent it in a post-apocalyptic Earth like he did before the Vulcans just happen to be flying past,
This
detect
is
the
all
warp
over, this is
signature,
all over my head.
and invite humanity to join a federation.
All right.
Sorry, wrong topic.
Point made. Point taken. Point made. I got to. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Uh,
But you got to give Gene Roddenberry some credit.
for sure, visionary. Man was a visionary.
Absolutely incredible. Incredible.
Some of it
Whoever
was a
that
bit
is, yes,
heavy-handed.
Okay.
That planet where they were half black, half white. You remember that one?
So is that mass shifting?
No, that was a heavy-handed allegory about racism.
Heavy-handed allegory. On that note, that's the quote of the night. What do you reckon?
That's what we're going to name this show, the heavy-handed allegory
Allegory.
Of
Allegory
racism?
Of racism.
Okay.
No
um,
racism here. We love everyone.
I love
Whether
definitely.
you
love
mass
everyone.
shift or not.
Yeah, definitely. So, thank you so much, Kelvin, for coming to the studio.
Thank
and
you for
joining
having
us
me here.
tonight.
Excellent. Good
pleasure.
times.
As usual, lads. No spoilers. Dave is ready
Dave's
to
out.
go.
Dave's
He's
gone.
You know what? I'm actually looking forward to this film now. I'm going to watch Bumblebee at your house tomorrow. And I'm
perfect.
going to see, get G'd up for it. Go in with a nice open mind and just see what happens.
It's so unfortunate that I just watched it today and I'm going to be watching it again tomorrow. But actually, it's not unfortunate because I love the movie.
You
so
love
there
the
you
film?
go.
Before we go,
Should I bring my Blu-ray copy of the 86?
I have lots of copies of the 86 movie.
he
so it's
does.
fine.
He does. Thanks once again to a couple. Before we go, I'll be remiss not to thank Rode Microphones for all the gear that we have and we use from show.
Nothing but
The
the
show.
best.
Awesome. Also to Alex Argento and Virgil Donati for all the music beds that you hear.
Amazing.
Also on all our live streams, as well as our pre-recorded tracks. Thanks to Dave and Christian for being in the studio tonight to operate those wonderful cameras, and also our live audience member, Katie. So there we go. Thanks, lads. We will close with that little cassette there that I'm very curious about.
Oh yes, sorry, that's mine. This was, I believe, only an Australian only promotional item. Which was really weird. Yeah, so basically these were just put on like shelves and train stations or something. It was something really weird.
Guerrilla style.
Yeah, ad campaign. Just like there was like about 100 of these things on a little shelf in random train stations all around Australia. Go pick it up and it's yours. All it is you scan. It's a real tape. It's a cassette.
There's nothing on the tape.
Nothing. It's just completely blank.
blank.
Oh,
Can
it's
you,
blank, is it?
Can
Yeah,
you
it's blank.
record over it? Maybe.
Of course you could.
Maybe.
Oh, is it actual tape?
It's
Is
an
it?
actual tape. Yeah. So,
You got to imagine, like, for a marketing technique, at the time this came out, 90%
I
of the
swear I know
people
what
who
it
picked
is.
it
Don't
up
even
wouldn't
know
even
how to open it.
recognize what it
so
was.
there we go.
You can't record it.
Anyway, the whole thing is it's got the
Oh, yeah.
poster here, the
It
first
is.
poster for the movie, and then if you look here,
Oh, it might
there's
be.
a
Might be
Spotify
playable. Strange.
there's a
that's blank, though.
Spotify code, which you just get your Spotify, you go to the camera, point it at this, and you get the whole soundtrack to the movie, and it's a really good set. Like out of that's on there. It's on there. So this is a really good soundtrack. So if anyone, if anyone wants it, if you can get a good thing on that, so just download that. There we
It
are.
might be a QR code. or
QR,
something.
it's a QR code for Spotify, and then you get the whole
Ah.
soundtrack.
Yeah.
So yeah, just they all of these just lying around Australia at random places, and of course scalpers went and took them all. But luckily enough, Mr. Jason Murray was kind enough to secure a few for his mates, and I was one of them. And yeah,
Nice.
a really obscure piece of Transformers history, and that's what this is. So, yeah.
Excellent. Okay, cool. Once again, thanks, lads. And one final thing I have to say before anyone loses their marbles, we have been allocated that one special ticket for the premiere. And when's the premiere going to be? It's
premiere-
allocated, people.
Yeah,
so
no. Where is it?
The premiere.
hang on,
is
hang on.
the
Don't lose your
of-
marbles, okay? It was allocated as a prize, so don't lose your shit.
What, 8th of June.
Yes.
What are we
excellent.
going to do? Well, what's the contest going to be? Are we gonna...
They have to watch the next couple of episodes before the actual premiere. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
okay.
we're gonna run.
Any
a comp.
questions? Like,
We're gonna
yeah.
comp-
Well, the all will be revealed.
We've got some spaghetti and pasta coming up. There we go.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What is that?
Anyway,
Quiet, Mikey.
all right, guys.
Truck, not Mikey.
Thanks for coming in. And we will. What time is it? What time does the match actually finish?
It should be finished.
Yeah.
So thank you everyone for not spoiling it. That's why we have a Rabbitohs jersey behind me.
Yeah.
We're gonna go home and watch the replay of the game. Hopefully the Souths have won. I know the Roosters have lost, so lol. Yeah.
We're a winning streak. All right, gents. And everyone for tuning in and watching. And again, everyone in the studio and everyone for tuning in week after
Thanks,
week.
guys.
Don't forget to like, share, and definitely subscribe.
Stay tuned for the contest.
Stay. Goodbye.